Hi, my name's Cordy and I don't want to patronise you. So at the very front of this video I want to put the whole point of why I'm making the video so you don't have to watch the whole thing and then figure out at the end that it was something you already knew. A piece of advice, and I also have a question that I'll ask just after I do this. When it comes to playing slides and sliding better or whatever, improving slide accuracy, all those things, the technique that I use is to not look at where I am but look at where I'm going to be. So if I'm going to slide all the way to the fret 12 from 3, what my eyes are literally doing is looking at the target spot way before I'm arriving there. So at the moment I'm looking at G, and then there's a switch before the slide starts and I start looking at fret 12. For me is one piece of advice that I could give. If you're not already doing that, maybe you are already doing that, but that's one piece of advice that I would give on improving slides, and I wanted to put it at the front of the video so you don't have to waste your time if you already knew that. I'm going to talk about some other stuff later on in the video, but I just wanted to put that right up the front. So anytime I'm sliding, if it's a long slide or a short slide, whether it's up or down, I'm looking at where I'm going to land rather than track the actual hand movement with my eyes. I'm literally looking at fret 12 now. I know that I'm going to slide down to fret 3, so I switch. And if you were to look at what I'm seeing whilst I'm doing that, you'll see that before each slide my eyes literally switch to the target position. Hopefully that might help you. I'm going to do some playing now and then I'll talk about some other kind of slide concepts, things that I've seen other people say that helps me. I've not really seen anyone say this before, and I was talking to someone, Tom, the other day, and he said I've never really heard anyone say that in that way, so I thought I'll put that there. Maybe it will help one other person, maybe. And the question that I wanted to ask you was, there's like a memory in my mind of someone saying don't shoot where they are, shoot where they're going to be, or don't aim where they are, aim where they're going to be. And I can't remember for the life of me where that comes from, so if you've got any ideas what that's from, leave it in the comments so that I can get this annoying feeling out of my head because I can't remember what it's from. Anyway, here's some playing. After that I'm going to come back and talk about kind of some other things, particularly Julian Lage has some really great advice on this slide stuff. If you want to like and subscribe, I'm hoping to get to more subscribers that I've got at the moment, and I'm going to give a whisper away when we hit a substantial milestone. Thank you for stopping by. Cheers. So I just wanted to talk about some other great advice that I've heard. Julian Lage, guitar player, jazz player, I guess, but super versatile player and an incredible guitarist. So one of the things that he talks about is this concept of what feels like a big movement on guitar is actually not a big movement. I can't remember exactly where the video is. It's like a university or a conservatoire or something like that. But in terms of, so you take your arm, you can move it way past, you know, the nut and way past fret 0, and you can also move it this way. So in terms of like actual movements, that's like a big movement, whereas sliding from fret 3 to 7 might feel like a big movement, but actually you're only going, you know, that far. So even if you were to slide from, say, fret 2 to fret 12, mentally that might feel like a big space or a big gap that you've got to traverse. But like I say, if you look at the target area where you're going to be and sort of mentally tell yourself that this isn't a big deal, this is you know, just I'm traversing this space with my hand, and literally you're only moving maybe like a foot or so, then what feels like it might be a big deal, suddenly it's like, well, actually I'm only moving this amount of space, and the chances are that I'm going to land there because it's not a massive movement. I don't need to worry about inaccuracy. So that's one huge thing that I thought made a lot of sense from Julian Lage. So in terms of, you know, you can apply that across kind of string distances as well. So, you know, this particular picking motion, if you were to pick from A to A, mentally might feel like a big deal, and it might feel like, oh, I'm doing a massive leap with my right hand, but you can actually kind of tell yourself that same kind of story, you know, in terms of movement, it's only moving, you know, a couple of inches, and it's not actually a massive deal. So that's another kind of thing that I might mentally tell myself if I was thinking about a particular passage that maybe, I don't know, something like that. I don't know what that was, it's just some random improv nonsense, but big kind of picking motions, or what feel like big picking motions, if I tell myself mentally that it's only this small movement, not I've got this full range of movement with my arm, sorry that looks incredibly odd, but I'm only making tiny movements. So that was one of those kind of key things. So as I say, the sliding part of it, my main kind of advice for anyone who's interested in improving their sliding, and if they're not already doing this, is to look at the target, and if you're sliding up or down, just instead of tracking your movement with your eyes, look to where you're going to be, and that for me works in a huge way to improve kind of my slide accuracy. And then that other piece of advice is what feels like a big movement on a guitar, actually in terms of our physical capabilities, is not a massive movement. So sorry if that's a bit weird. Hopefully that helps someone. You could like and subscribe if you want to. I could make the video longer, but frankly there's not really much else that I wanted to talk about in this regard. It's just those two tiny like little snippets of advice that I've not really seen talked about too much, that I think might help one or two people, maybe. If you want to like and subscribe, you could. Thank you for stopping by, and here's some sausage dogs. Cheers.